Could the epidemic of instability Africa has seen over the years be caused by global superpowers? Are they secretly stoking the very flames they claim to be putting out? These thought-provoking questions were raised by Burkina Faso's Foreign Minister, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré, during the recent United Nations General Assembly. His bold and unapologetic remarks have sparked global interest and ignited fresh debates. But why would Burkina Faso make such strong accusations? Stick around as we dig deeper into this controversial revelation. And before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on what's unfolding in Burkina Faso and beyond. Under the leadership of President Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso has taken a bold stance by publicly accusing foreign powers of deliberately worsening the security crisis in the Sahel through covert support of terrorism. This accusation sheds light on a long-standing issue haunting the region: how foreign interventions have often destabilized African nations instead of helping them. President Traoré's claims are not just empty words. They raise crucial questions about the role of external forces in fueling conflicts, exploiting instability for strategic and economic gains, and worsening the humanitarian crisis in the Sahel. It's a challenge to the widely accepted narrative that foreign powers are only there to help. Since taking office, President Traoré has never hesitated to make bold decisions and speak his mind. His government's stance, directly naming some foreign powers as contributors to terrorism in the Sahel, has caught the world's attention. According to Traoré, some nations, while publicly promoting counterterrorism, are secretly empowering militant groups to serve their own geopolitical ambitions. Burkina Faso's stance is not an isolated one. Countries like Mali and Niger, which have also faced political turmoil and coups in recent years, share similar frustrations about foreign interference, particularly from Western powers. These nations are voicing a collective desire to reclaim their sovereignty and free themselves from foreign military interventions and political manipulation. The Sahel region, a vast semi-arid area stretching from Senegal to Sudan, has long been a battleground for global rivalry. With its strategic location and wealth of natural resources like gold, uranium, and oil, it has become a magnet for foreign interests. Western powers, particularly France, have maintained a strong military presence under the guise of combating terrorism and supporting local governments. But are they really helping? Take, for example, France's Operation Barkhane, launched in 2014 to curb the rise of Islamist insurgencies in Mali, Burkina Faso, and neighboring countries. While its stated goal was to improve regional security, critics argue that it has only heightened tensions and sparked anti-French sentiment across the region. As a result, French troops have been gradually pulled out from several Sahelian countries, leaving behind strained relationships and bitter memories. President Traoré's remarks suggest that some foreign powers are not just failing to help, but are actively engaging in neo-colonial practices, using the chaos as an opportunity to maintain control over valuable resources and political leverage. This perspective resonates with a growing movement. Growing distrust of Western influence, countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are forging new alliances with non-Western powers, particularly Russia and China. Burkina Faso and Mali, for instance, have shifted away from France and strengthened ties with Russia, partnering with groups like Wagner, now rebranded as the African Corps, to combat insurgencies. While this pivot raises questions about human rights and governance, it also highlights a desire for more balanced and mutually respectful partnerships, moving away from Western hegemony. These evolving alliances are reshaping the region's geopolitical landscape as the Sahel becomes a complex chessboard of competing interests and shifting loyalties. Burkina Faso's accusations against global superpowers should not be viewed in isolation. They reflect a broader quest for autonomy and independence, as African nations increasingly challenge external control over their resources and policies. The dynamics are shifting, and the continent is gradually charting its own course toward self-reliance. As the world watches these developments, one thing is clear: Africa is no longer willing to be a passive participant in the global power game. Countries are taking charge of their own destinies, calling out hidden agendas, and demanding respect for their sovereignty. The bold accusations made by Burkina Faso's leadership are sending shockwaves across the Sahel, raising critical questions about the region's ongoing security challenges. The Sahel has long been entangled in a web of violence and instability, fueled by extremist groups, ethnic conflicts, and complex socio-political dynamics. Foreign military interventions, although intended to restore order, have often produced mixed results, stabilizing some areas while inadvertently provoking further radicalization and unrest in others. Burkina Faso's struggle against terrorism is not an isolated battle, but part of a broader regional effort to dismantle extremist networks such as Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara. Yet, the recent accusations point to a disturbing possibility that foreign powers, rather than curbing violence, might actually be fanning its flames behind the scenes. If these claims hold any truth, they could undermine not just Burkina Faso's stability, but the security of the entire Sahel region. One of the most damaging consequences of foreign interference is its destabilizing effect on local economies. Resource-rich areas, particularly those abundant in gold and other valuable minerals, have often become hotbeds of conflict. There are strong indications that terrorist groups exploit the chaos to finance their operations through illegal mining and smuggling, creating a vicious cycle where violence begets exploitation and exploitation fuels more violence. Furthermore, the presence of foreign military forces, especially those from Western nations, has complicated the situation on the ground. Instead of being seen as liberators or protectors, they are frequently perceived as occupying forces imposing their will on local populations. This perception has only deepened resentment and, in some cases, driven communities to align themselves with insurgent groups out of sheer frustration. The result is a growing sense of disillusionment with Western interventions and an increasing call for African-led solutions to the region's security woes. Beyond the immediate security challenges, Burkina Faso's allegations also shed light on the worsening humanitarian crisis in the Sahel. Violence and conflict have displaced millions, creating a dire situation that has been made even worse by environmental degradation. The impact of climate change, particularly in the form of severe and prolonged droughts, has put immense strain on already fragile ecosystems. Rural communities, left without sustainable livelihoods, often see extremist groups as their only means of survival. This dangerous combination of terrorism, foreign interference, and environmental catastrophe forms a perfect storm of instability. It is essential to view Burkina Faso's stance not just as a geopolitical assertion, but as a broader critique of how external influence is perpetuating the region's suffering. Regional organizations like the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the G5 Sahel must step up to confront these challenges. However, they too must navigate the complexities of foreign involvement while striving to assert local leadership and autonomy. The rise of Pan-Africanism and resource nationalism presents an opportunity for Sahelian nations to take charge of their futures. However, this vision requires strong, decisive leadership and a clear commitment to addressing the root causes of conflict rather than just the symptoms. Only by prioritizing homegrown solutions and reducing dependency on foreign powers can the region hope to break free from the cycle of violence and build a sustainable path forward. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, emerged as a response to the glaring failure of international bodies to effectively tackle the escalating security issues in the region. This coalition of West African nations, including Burkina Faso, was formed with a clear mission: to fight terrorism and organized crime in the Sahel, a region that has long struggled with instability and violence. Burkina Faso's recent allegations against foreign powers for sponsoring terrorism have brought renewed urgency to the alliance's objectives. The AES aims not only to strengthen security efforts, but also to counter external influences that are believed to be undermining stability. Through regional cooperation, the alliance seeks to reclaim control over its own security strategy, rather than relying on foreign military interventions. In a bold move, Burkina Faso and other AES members have called on the UN Security Council to step up and take concrete action. They are demanding stronger international support, particularly in terms of financial and technical aid, while also pushing back against the foreign military presence that many see as worsening conflicts rather than resolving them. The world is now watching to see how the Security Council responds. Will it hold foreign actors accountable, or will it sidestep these claims and stick to conventional security measures? The AES is determined to secure consistent and fair international action while prioritizing local solutions. It's crucial to address not just the symptoms of instability, but also the root causes like poverty, poor governance, and environmental degradation. Simply increasing foreign military presence without tackling these underlying issues will not bring lasting peace. President Ibrahim Traoré's accusations have sparked a vital conversation about the role of external forces in prolonging the Sahel's crisis. As the region faces the intertwined challenges of terrorism, humanitarian emergencies, and environmental threats, it's clear that the path forward requires a careful balance of regional cooperation, reduced foreign dependency, and grassroots solutions. Despite facing criticism on the international stage, one undeniable truth remains. The fight against terrorism in the Sahel is more than just a battle against extremist groups. It's a struggle against a complex system that seems designed to keep certain communities trapped in perpetual hardship. The question now is whether the UN will act swiftly to address these urgent concerns or allow global politics to overshadow the real struggles of the Sahelian people. What do you think? Will the UN take decisive action, or will the voices from the Sahel be drowned out by international power plays? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our updates. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.